Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go!
Do you have absolute certainty on how you go from hello to yes on what you're looking for?
Sean is a master. He teaches. It's not just about sharing the formula with you. It's about making sure that we learn.
I went from $100,000 in debt from law school to having no money and starting my own law firm on my credit card to selling it 4 years later.
Sean and I, we co-created massive victories in 2 unwinnable jury trials, which are recognized nationally now as top 100 jury verdicts.
To be even on the same track with you, who I respect and admire and love with all my heart.
Never again submit. You're not better and you're not less than any human on earth.
When you shared with us about the Unblinded process and the mastery sales training, I just went, wow.
Sean will gain proximity to the most influential and powerful people. He will find out how he can grow their business, how he can help them personally. But the third thing that he does is the most important. Sean serves without an expectation of getting anything in return.
You have very, very high-performing colleagues.
22 years ago, you transformed my life as you did all of these people's lives over the course of time. And I couldn't be more grateful. Let's hear it for Tony Robbins.
I don't see him as a lawyer, and I don't see him as a blind person. Someone who has subjugated his ego, who has taught me what serving really looks like.
You have this incredible ability to just have unconditional love for everyone, and that is just an incredible gift.
The moment you have been waiting for.
The American Blind Association is the first new face and voice of that association since Helen Keller.
Formula for formulas, which is exactly what I've learned from Sean. It's a language-based predictable model. We will have over 300 new sales meetings this month.
This superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people. If you believe that, say yes. If you believe that, say yes.
Do you think that worked?
All amazing people for being here. Who we got, Gina?
Sean, what do you get when you cross Widener School of Law valedictorian honors with Master of Law from NYU and taxation to go on to promoting his own vision of how legal practice should be? Get Mr. What?
I think you get our first guest.
You get our first incredible guest, Mr. Matthew Iott, who started his own firm in 2019. Welcome back to The Real Raw, Matthew Iott.
Thank you for having me.
Matthew, thank you for being here, man, and congratulations on your brilliance. And what is your fun fact?
My fun fact this time is that, like you, I took my firm back in June to Florida on a trip, kind of like you took your firm to, I believe it was North Carolina, South Carolina, one of the two. So we had a nice firm trip. It was a very good bonding experience, and I think it was a key moment in the history of the firm.
That's awesome. Well, great job, my friend. Appreciate you very, very much. And welcome back.
Thank you.
So, Gina.
Next up, we have Mr. Noble Crawford coming to us from Texas. He is an entrepreneur, rock star, hospitality brand co-founder, amazing energy. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Noble Crawford. Welcome to The Real Raw.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, Noble, thanks for being here, man. How about your fun fact? What do we have?
Oh, fun fact. So in my 30s, I was going bald, right? So my hairline started to recede. So I got my wife's black eyeliner pencil and tried to color in the edge of my hairline to make it, but then I went out and it sweated down. So that was a bad experience.
Noble, that is some amazing courage and vulnerability. Come right at me with some fun energy. Welcome, brother, for being here, and thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Awesome. Gina, we got Matthew, we got Noble, and we have
first judge up coming to us from Sarasota, Florida today, Miss Alexis Rosenberg, healthcare law, insurance disputes, business litigation. But hold on, she's also an ABC News 7 legal expert. She is a Florida legal elite, Sean, Sarasota chapter of Florida Women Lawyers. She's just an extraordinarily, she was instrumental in drafting and lobbying Florida's new human trafficking laws, which is so huge. Thank you for what you're doing. Welcome, Alexis Rosenberg, to The Real Raw.
Thank you for having me.
Alexis, welcome to the party. I'm hearing insurance disputes and things over healthcare. So are you involved in some of the dynamics between healthcare providers and insurance companies?
Yes, I do mostly when they're defend them on the business end for insurance fraud, civil racketeering defense, all the way down to, for my healthcare, collecting their receivables and fighting the insurance companies when they're not being reimbursed for their services. So yeah, I'm one of the good people defending the doctors that are out there trying to protect, the people, especially now. They deserve that support.
Yeah, Alexis, this is super cool. And this is one of the foundational dynamics of what I built Calgary Law doing. So in the New York area, doing all those fine, amazing things for healthcare providers, doctors, practices, hospitals, et cetera. So congratulations on being the right side of the good fight.
Yes, I'm not on the dark side, as I call it.
Like that's the come back. Right? So number one. Number two, in your work with drafting sex trafficking legislation or causing that to occur, we've also been meaningfully involved in charities supporting the freeing of people being sex trafficked. But you want to speak into what you're up to there? Like what's your mission, vision, and what's happening in that regard?
Well, it's not new. That was back in 2016, but thank you, Gina. It's still a very hot topic. I mean, it's horrible what is going on. And so I think definitely with the redrafting of that and just getting the word out, because so many people back then, when you brought it up, they were thinking of people being trafficked from another country, they're being brought in from Russia. Not that it does happen occasionally, but really the problem is locally where you have the local, our children, people being trafficked out of foster care, which is so horrible. The most vulnerable people are the worst when they're actually being trafficked by a parent or a step parent, which is horrible. So, I mean, getting the word out, I mean, the key was getting it in education, especially our police force, to be able to spot this going on instead of, re-victimizing the victims and getting them some help and out of the situation.
Yeah, right. I think so present for people, I see if you agree, is the image of sex trafficking being like something being kidnapped, like taken over, like maybe taken. But that is such a, obviously that's horrific and beyond imagination, but it's also a subset of the 1% versus how it really goes on day to day.
Right.
So the work you've done in the world here. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we got Alexis making beautiful things happen on the side of light, not dark, Gina. And we got some other judges to roll with her. Who we got?
We have Miss Baria Jarudi. Sounds like Jaludi, but with an R, Jarudi. This former Montessori teacher is a senior manager in the business valuation department, Sean, at the largest independent CPA firm in Houston. Board of Governors for the Institute of Business Appraisers, Business Valuation Forensic Litigation Services. Welcome, Baria, to The Real Raw.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
And I want to say correctly, it's Baria?
It is Baria, like Maria with a B instead of M, yes.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so Baria, welcome to the party. And what is your fun fact?
My fun fact, I got to go to Oahu last month in Hawaii, and we had a blast, after being cooped up for more than a year like everybody else. It was definitely amazing to be able to get out and be, out there, do a lot of normal things and some fun stuff.
Cool. What was your favorite thing, Baria, that you did in your trip to Hawaii?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Yeah, what was the thing that was the most fun for you on your trip to Hawaii?
It was the snorkeling. My kids did watching where they went into a cage, and I didn't dare to do that for sure. But the snorkeling was really fun.
Oh, awesome. Well, Baria, welcome to the party. Congratulations on not being cooped up anymore. And So Baria's in the house, Gina. Who else we got?
From the beautiful upstate New York area of the Thousand Islands, Watertown area, this regional lending manager, Mr. Nathan Castor, opening lending offices all over the upstate New York area. Welcome, Nathan, to The Real Raw.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, Nathan, welcome to the party, my friend. And how about your fun fact coming from the great state of New York?
Well, I had a couple fun facts, but I thought I would talk about one that pertains to my job. Yes, I am a regional lending manager and assistant vice president for a bank, but I also own investment properties, rentals. The last rental I purchased, I was actually paid to buy. So I got paid to buy a building, and it is income producing. Can't lose.
Are you one of those people that are on like late night infomercials? So when you talk to Nathan, you get paid to buy property that is income and cash producing. I love this man. This is extraordinary. That is one of my favorite top 10 fun facts of all time on The Real Raw, Nathan.
Usually the realtors will call me and ask me what to put in the purchase contract.
Well, I'm loving that. So wonderful job. Welcome to the party. You ready to have some fun today, man?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. Gina.
One more incredible judge today, Sean and Bella. This neuro-ophthalmologist and oculoplastic specialist coming from Arizona, I believe, right? Dr. Ami Shavira. Welcome to The Real Raw.
Nice to meet you guys.
Yeah, hey Doc, how are you?
Good. Good.
Yeah, how would you like us to refer to you? Doc, Doctor?
No, you can just call me Ami, that's fine.
And how do you pronounce that?
Ami.
Ami, perfect. Okay, I want to make sure I had it correctly. So Ami, and give us a little bit more optics for fun and a pun on what it is that your work does, please.
Yeah, so I do neuro-ophthalmology, which basically is everything with the connection of the eye to the brain. And then I do oculoplastics, which is kind of plastic surgery from about here to here. And just kind of see a whole realm of things, and everything from trauma to reconstructing things to we don't know why.
Oh, extraordinary. Fun fact, I have retinitis pigmentosa. I don't know if you're aware of that. So I'm actually legally blind and I can't see anything that's on the screen. So my late uncle was a retina surgeon. So obviously the work of in and around the eye is of vital relevance to my family and myself. I'm also on the board of the American Foundation for the Blind at the 100th anniversary event coming up. I'm a co-chair of launching and running that. So thank you for the work that you do in supporting people and their vision and interconnection with their brain.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and welcome to the party.
Thanks.
So Gina, we've got some rock stars, and then of course, we have the influence sorceress. This woman is standing for the growth of business. How did she get into any of this? Well, she started selling crafts on her front lawn as a mere tot in the great state of Texas. And then she progressed to eventually an interesting sales career in her high school. We'll leave that over here. Then she became a 7-figure earner in the space of network marketing and on to becoming the not number 5, 4, 3, 2, or anything but number 1 business broker in the state of Nevada. And from there, she was like present to, hey, you know what? People need to build, grow, scale business in a capitalist structure. And I'm going to help them because sourcing people is not easy. And oh my God, with marketing people, sales people, we go crazy and it never works out. So her stand became for placing talent and finding and sourcing talent with people, professionals, non-professionals, entrepreneurs to build, grow, and scale business. The co-host of The Real Raw, the one, the only, Bella Vrita.
Well, hello, everyone. Hello, Sean Callaghy.
Hello, and what is your fun fact, Bella Vrita, as we roll into this Why Wednesday?
I don't know, Sean. I don't really have a whole lot of fun. I've lived a pretty quiet life, and I don't really think I have any fun facts.
I do have to tell you, Bella is extraordinarily boring. So just like we're present to that. So despite your amazing boringness, could you possibly dig up one fun fact, please?
I think the one fun fact that is coming up for me today, the thing that you said you wanted to put to the side, after selling crafts on my front lawn, I thought it'd be a good idea to drop out of high school and start selling drugs. So that's how I got my start in selling. Did pretty good at that for a while, and then until I had a shotgun held to my face and thought, maybe I might change careers. So I decided to get into network marketing instead.
You got out of the danger game?
Yeah, I got out of the danger game.
Yes. So outstanding, extraordinary. And now in most
Now should I also share the fun fact that last week coming into New Jersey, you tried to impress me by taking me to one of New Jersey's finest pizza joints, where as we were walking into the pizza joint, a guy is walking out with a vest holding like 6 different guns. Like
that, yes, that actually did happen. And then we had what we perceived to be a gang that was assembled in the parking lot, start banging on the window and being like, I have a question to ask. So that may have happened a week ago. So yes.
But it had been a long time since I had come that close to guns. And thank you for that experience, Sean Callaghy, that brought me back to my youth. I appreciate that.
Well, for all of you, I just wanted to support Bella in remembering her childhood and her teenage years. I thought it was nice. So I'm sorry if you didn't want to receive that gift, Bella.
Because if any of you fly into New Jersey late at night and Sean's like, let's go get pizza, say no. Just say no.
All right. So Bella Verita, yes, we are going to rock this thing today. Gina, extraordinary job. As always, love you, present to your heart-centeredness. And Gina, how about you? A fun fact for you, because you're more fun, I think, than like Bella. So what's a fun fact of yours?
Well, actually, a fun fact is that I got to hang out. Bella and I had like a fun dinner last night, and we might have like over-ordered a bunch of tapas and had some laughs about some fun things that have happened in the past, and things that we're doing along the way here at Unblinded, and some amazing things we're doing. So that's my fun fact for today.
We had a smorgasbord of food, Sean, that would absolutely scare the bejesus out of you.
Yes.
Oh yes, that is true. That's true.
That is trouble incarnate. Bella and Gina Williams. So yes. So Gina, we love you. We will see you soon. Fantastic job as always, my friend.
Thank you. Have fun in the multiverse, everyone. Hope to see you again soon. Ciao.
All right. So all that fun, energy, connecting, there we go to start. But what's at stake here? What are we doing? Well, influence is, in fact, I believe, the only attainable superpower. That's a bold statement. What makes a superpower? Well, to me, a superpower is like when Superman picks up a car and throws it, or the Hulk knocks down a building with the bad guys in it. Those are superhuman dynamics that go far beyond the norm of the exertion of energy to the production of an outcome. The exertion of energy to the production of an outcome. Influence actually works the same way, where two different people could walk into the same space and create nothing, or millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions, or even billions of dollars in value. Jeff Bezos, like him or not, believe in Amazon or not, the dude's worth close to $200 billion. Somebody's going to be a trillionaire soon. So for measuring influence through the prism of money, there's such extraordinary differentials, it would embarrass Superman and the Hulk in comparison to physical strength. Influence gives rise to nations, causes wars, settles wars, births companies, kills companies. P.S. 96% of companies that start are not in business 10 years later. But then you got people like Facebook and Amazon and law firms that have been around for 150 years. What is that difference? I will submit to you. It starts in the middle and almost in the end, a couple of the things is in the space of influence that controls sales, marketing, leadership, managing, recruiting, scaling, and of course, knowing what to do with it. So that's the game we're playing, right? It's influence. It's a sport. There's grades and scores and things because everybody is assessing and analyzing who and what you are instantaneously and making decisions. How does all that science work? That's what we're here to unpack. There's all kinds of misinformation out there in the world. But Bella Verita, let's drop in. We're amazing, fine folks. Who is going first today, Bella?
I think since Matthew has been here before, he should get to go first.
All right, Matthew.
And Noble was just thrown into this party 5 minutes ago.
Oh my goodness. So yes, Matthew, you know how this works, I believe. Bella, anybody you want her to be. It's about going from hello to yes, not pitching, hooking, closing, not hooking, pitching, closing. It's the ability to open up listening, display value, and move forward with the yes. It doesn't have to be a final sale. It doesn't even have to be about a sale. Just a yes. Could be for a longer meeting. Could be anything that's relevant to you, Matthew U. Noble. Matthew, who would you like Bella Verita to be?
Well, first, if I could, I would just like to apologize to Bella. That was actually me with the guns, but it was only 5 guns and 1 grenade launcher the other day. So next time, if I knew it was you, I would not have scared you that way, and I'm sorry for doing so.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Appreciate that very, very deeply. And Bella, don't exaggerate when it's 5 guns and say 6, please. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. So Matthew, who would you like Bella to be?
I would like Bella to be one of our judges, Ami, who is an investor in a business. We'll call it an Italian ice business. She put up $250,000, and obviously she's busy with her own practice, and she's not really involved so much in the business. And she comes to find out that her partners have excluded her or ousted her from the business. And she needs legal representation.
Yes, that doesn't sound fun, Bella. All right, Bella, are you ready to
So,
go?
Wait, it's just so that I'm clear is because I heard Omni name. I got lost there for a second. So you're saying that I'm in business with Omni and our business partner is trying to get us out. I'm sorry,
Sorry, you are Ami.
I am Omni. Okay.
I have several clients who are doctors.
Okay, got it.
Who have invested their income from their medical practice into side businesses, and they've been ousted essentially by.
And now they're getting ousted. Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So Bella, got $1 million in. You're a doctor. You're like, what's going on over here? And you've been ousted. Ready?
Got it.
All right. Take us in.
Okay. So the first question I would have for you is, do you know the status of the business? Is it making money or is it losing money? And that's important for 2 reasons. Number one, whether or not you have something to go after in terms of income that you're entitled to under whatever agreement you reach with the people. And number 2, if they're not making money, then you have to be concerned about liabilities that the business is taking on. We've had situations where clients were, their name was signed to promissory notes that they had no idea that they were becoming obligated to certain obligations that banks would then come after them without them even knowing that this even existed. In addition, there could be tax liability that's lurking from sales tax or employment tax, et cetera, And in most states, they'll find that a responsible party is an owner or manager of an LLC or other entity, and they can potentially come after you personally for those liabilities. Even though you didn't create the liability because you didn't operate the business, that's always the biggest concern is what kind of exposure you have. And so
Kind of what
kind of exposure you have in terms of liabilities.
Yeah. Well, just to answer your question, because I've only got less than a couple minutes here, so I'm not sure you want to go with the conversation, but the business is about breaking even.
Okay, so the business is breaking even.
Mm-hmm.
What you want to do is you want to make sure that you have you protect your rights vis-a-vis your other partners, right? And so you've been ousted from this business. You want to approach them in a way that's effective, but not necessarily too aggressive or not aggressive enough. So it's a fine line you have to walk, right? You don't want to shutter the business down if it's potentially a viable entity. I mean, you invested in this entity for a reason, right? You saw the vision, you saw the future of your business partners, and you thought that it was a good idea. So arguably, there's still some of that element available, right? And so you want to see if that's still a possibility. And if so, then you have to protect your rights, and you want to make sure that any growth that you participate in. After all, you invested in the business in the first place. You basically you received money to get them off the ground. Why shouldn't you also share in their success? But then that's something you would go after on the affirmative, as opposed to playing defense against any liabilities or any exposures that you would have from the improper operation of the business.
Gotcha.
And so another thing you have to consider as well, to the extent the business is wildly successful, they could also pull a maneuver by using the bankruptcy courts, in particular Chapter 11.
I've got about 10 seconds left, Matthew.
Sure. So there's a lot of considerations that go into how you approach the situation, but the most important thing is you want to limit exposure and then also protect any growth that you are entitled to.
Got it.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you.
Matthew, excellent job. Hey, Bella, It's another investor call on the line, and they're saying that they have swampland for you in the middle of Austin. Would you like to take the call?
Yes, I would.
Right.
I just figured out where we were going to invest your money.
Yes, perfect. So Matthew Bella might need more help in the future. So excellent job, Matthew.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Noble, who would you like Bella Verita to be?
Sure. So I just want to make sure I understand the concept. So if I do, then what I do in my business, I am in the short-term rental space. And so essentially what we do is we acquire properties through long-term leases on the multifamily side, and we use those properties to fully furnish them and provide accommodations to our clients. Okay, so going to those multifamily complexes, those apartment complexes, let's say 100-unit, Bella would be the property manager, and my objective would be to get her to agree to, or at least consider a second conversation, allowing us to come in a corporate housing capacity and take a number of units.
I like this. All right. Bella, you're running a facility, you're managing it. Bella, you like managing things. Take us in.
I do like managing things, and I like moving around a lot. So I live in a lot of corporate housing kind of places. So this is my jam. Let's go, Noble.
All right, let's go. All right, hi, Bella. My name is Noble Crawford. I'm with Short Term Accommodations, and we're looking at least a number of units in the area over the coming weeks. We anticipate adding over $250,000 in new long-term leases, and I wanted to find out from you if you would be the person that I could talk to about this.
Yeah, I definitely for this building, yes.
Awesome. Well, I tell you what, given your proximity to the medical district, we've identified your property as a great location for our clients, which primarily consist of healthcare professionals, typically like your traveling nurses, some doctors that may be coming in to perform procedures. And these are normally going to be 5 to 6 figure earners. So typically the type of tenant that you would like to have in your property. In addition, we also cater to patients who may be in the area for outpatient services and then their families as well. And so because our clients' accommodation needs vary, and length of stay, size of space, anywhere from a couple of weeks to maybe 3 to 4 months. It's not uncommon for us to have a need for studios, 1-bedrooms, and 2-bedrooms. So with that said, we would love to partner with you and help you to reduce your vacancies. So how many of these types of units do you think you would have available coming up here pretty quickly?
I mean, we don't have a huge vacancy issue. I would say, we probably have anywhere from, maybe 5 to 10 vacancies at a time. It's not that much.
Awesome. Well, I'll tell you what, if we could help you get to 100% occupancy, which I know in this multifamily space that is, quite rare and is a gem, would you be open to an additional conversation about that?
I mean, yeah, I'm definitely open to how does it work? And, because there's inflation, so we're constantly, raising our rates and our rates depending on what's going on in the market. So I don't know if this would be an advantageous move for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Understand totally. So the way it would work is essentially we would execute a long-term lease with you, and that would be 12 to 24 months, whatever's in your best interest and works for your business model. Okay. And we would be the corporate tenant on that lease, right? And then we would in turn provide fully furnished spaces for our clients, again, in that healthcare space, because that's typically who we cater to. And so at a high level, that's what we would be looking at. And, like I said, we'd love to partner with you. We love the community. We think this will be a gem for our doctor and medical staff.
Got it. Yeah, I'm definitely open. If you guys, sign a lease and are responsible for it, it's definitely a conversation I'm willing to have.
Well, awesome. Well, let's set up another time to talk. And I look forward to it.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Noble, loving that. So Bella Verita, are you looking for temporary housing in East Australia?
East Australia. Are you trying to ship me off to Australia?
I don't know.
Out of any places to go, that's like the furthest away. I see where we're going. You're trying to ship me off where I'd be on the opposite time zone. Is this your way of getting me off the real raw? Can you not handle me anymore?
I take the fifth, Matthew and Alexis. Help me out. So yes, Matthew, excellent job round one. Let's see what the judges have to say. Alexis, if you don't mind, 30 seconds of feedback, please. 15 seconds what worked, 15 seconds of what could be optimized, and then a score on a scale of 1 to 10 for the one and only Mr. Matthew, who's protecting people from total insanity happening, as are you, both on the force of good and light. So what do you have for Matthew, Alexis?
So Matthew, I thought you did really well. I thought that giving the information and I feel like as an attorney that the sales portion of what we do, obviously we are selling ourselves, is more informational. And I thought that was very clear. Maybe it was a little too much information that you were giving at once. I mean, it was fine for me, but it might have been a lot for a non-attorney to digest, as well as just slowing. I know we're timed, so slowing down the pace, but I thought it was really good. I think giving them the information that they need and being able to dangle that carrot where you're not kind of just giving them all your stuff for free, but giving enough information that they understand how you could potentially fix the issue that they were having.
And your score for him is on a scale of 1 to 10?
An 8.
Nice, thank you, Alexis. Maria, what did you have for Matthew?
Okay, thanks. I think he did also pretty well. My comments on it, he definitely provided good information. He did ask Bella about if she knew how the business was doing, if it broke even or if it was making money or not. And I think one thing that you want to consider, maybe Bella is a minority interest shareholder, and if she is, she may not have access to this information. So I think that's something you probably want to, consider when having this conversation. But overall, I think he did well.
Nice.
And your score for Miss?
I'm sorry, what was that again?
Your score on a scale of 1 to 10?
I would give him a 7.
Nice. Thanks, Maria. So Nathan, what did you have for Noble?
Well, I took a couple notes here. He started off talking about short-term renters, but then he also talked about doing a 12 to 24 month lease term, which I thought was kind of long for short-term. He didn't talk about fee or price, what his rate was going to be. I probably would have offered a quote, or at least offered to show what he could have gained in income by taking his approach.
And so your score for him is?
I think he did pretty good. I mean, he's definitely a salesman. 7 out of 10.
Nice.
Nice. And Ami, what did you have, please, for Noble?
So I thought Noble did good. I liked his energy, and it was very convincing with the information he provided. Seemed to be knowledgeable and approachable with questions and everything that he was providing. Maybe just a little bit more specifics in the in the project and what they're actually getting into in the housing developments. But overall, I think he did really good as well.
Nice.
And your score for him is?
I'd give him an 8.
Excellent. Okay, Ami, are you ready to have some more fun?
Sure.
All right. Bella, Ami said she's ready to have some more fun. What do you think we might do to have some more fun, Bella Rita?
Well, since you specifically called on Omni, I'm guessing that she's going to get the opportunity to put you on the hot seat. So I think that makes her very, very lucky today because, there's so many people that are looking to put Sean Callagy on the hot seat, so you can burn your bum, and it never really happens because there really is no hot seat, is no hot spot, but I think it's an excellent opportunity.
Yeah. So, it could look like this, like what a big yes to you or meaningful yes for you in the world would be. You could set that scenario for me. You could pass this off to somebody else or set any scenario. It's I have to now go from hello to yes, just like Matthew and Noble just did on any scenario. I've been everything from a lemonade salesperson to having to get the last ticket on an airplane that somebody just got and have them switch with me, to President Biden, President Trump, convincing opposing party members of things, and anything in between. The only request is that we are not, in fact, selling swampland in the middle of Austin, Texas, that it's something integrate. So would you like to set the scenario or pass it off to somebody else?
Since this is my first time and I joined this party very recently, I'm gonna pass this and observe for this round. And so I'll pass it to Alexis if she wants it.
Cool. You know what's funny, Ami? Bella Verita might have just passed something to a rock star in a 20-person concert like a week and a half ago. Like that might have happened. But yes, that's a story for a different day. So, Alexis, would you like to set the scenario?
Sure. So just to clarify, you just want me to set up any scenario?
Yes. I will be.
What are the, and it just can't be the sale of swampland? I just need to clarify here.
Yeah, like people have put him on the,
Sean, are you sure you don't want to limit that? I just got off an interview about, Bill Cosby being let out of jail. Are you sure you don't want to limit this?
No, the limit. Go ahead, Bella. You're gonna say something, Bella.
Yeah, no, because I was gonna say, like, literally every scenario's been done. Like, he's been like presidents. Like, I think one time had to like go from hello to yes as being Biden, something with Donald Trump. That was entertaining. He's like had to go hello to yes on a marriage proposal to keep someone in the country. He once had to go from hello to yes to get a very, very conservative attorney general or something to say yes to going to Burning Man when Sean Callaghan himself won't even go to Burning Man. So it could be any kind of scenario that you want to set up that would be meaningful to have an opportunity to see Sean go from hello to yes.
But it has to be, the only caveat, Alexis, is the swampland reference means it's got to be integral.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
No, absolutely.
I understand what you're saying.
Listen, I could be proud. You create an integrous scenario, I'll step in and be Bill Cosby. I'll be anybody. So as long as it's an integrous scenario. So,
I don't know if right now you can step into Bill Cosby being an integrous scenario. Okay. All right. I gotta think about this one. I don't want to pass because it's a good one, but I gotta think of a quick scenario. Put me on the spot here. Let's see. Okay, well, let's go with the convincing Biden that he should continue with Donald Trump's wall. Not that I agree with that, but I'm just saying.
So, who would I be? Donald Trump talking to President Biden?
Yeah, you're Donald Trump and you're talking to Biden about why he should continue putting up the Trump wall. Once again, not that I agree with this. Full disclaimer, since this is being recorded.
President Biden, Alexis, or do you want to have somebody else be
No,
President
you're gonna be Trump trying to convince Biden. Yes.
And who is President Biden? Like, is it going to be you or somebody else here?
Somebody else. We'll make it Matthew.
All right. Matthew, do you accept being President Biden and I will be President Trump?
I do.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so President Biden, it's a pleasure to speak. It's interesting.
We don't get the voice. Sean, come on, you can't do the voice.
I'm terrible at doing impressions, but I think at the end we'll still get to the right spot.
Okay.
So President Biden, I know we only have 3 minutes to decide whether or not we're going to have a longer conversation. And at the outset, I want to apologize. And I want to apologize for some of the approaches I took in my communication. As I reflect upon my presidency, I do think that some of the dynamic, disruptive, explosive commentary that led up to my election was necessary. I think it was necessary to open listening. I think it was necessary to bring incredible issues to the forefront that don't serve or support the American people. I do not believe that no term limits and the progression of professional politicians and creating a monarchy in Washington equals anything good. That said, once I was there, upon reflection, I think I should have worked in a different way to heal and mend the country. And I think I should have communicated in a very different manner. My ego got in the way. My resistance to the attacks that came my way, many of which were unfair and unfounded, some of which were fair. But at the core, I do believe my policies were best for this country and its future, even if they were turned into, through unfair, in my opinion, characterizations of some of my more emphatic rhetoric. So I will cut right to the chase. President Biden, even if you don't believe that, I think I'm going to have a way to support you in believing what I just said. May I ask, sir, what is your vision for the future of this country? When you look at America, and what do you want to create in the future? I've heard it, but please, if you wouldn't mind sharing it.
The future involves everything the opposite of what you were looking for, including the wall. And so if you're trying to pitch me on this wall concept, I'm not buying it. And I'm never going to be able to sell this to my base, to my people, to my people who support me, because they view it as anti, whatever you want to call it, but it's just inconsistent with their ideology. So I'm not sure how you can convince me that this wall makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, President Biden. But if I may, I know we're running short on time. My question, though, was, what is your vision for the future of this country? You said what it's not, but what is it? And I want to frame this. I personally believe that some, including Hillary Clinton, are not being forthcoming and transparent about their future vision of this nation. And I think some of their vision of the future is that there is no America. That, consistent with the song by John Lennon, Imagine, there's a vision of a world that has no walls, no borders, no boundaries, and that we all work together in a space of perfect harmony. And I would love that to be true, and I think you would love that to be true. But in light of the bombings in Syria and some of the feedback that you've gotten for it, which I think was unfair, I am present to the reality that you understand that we are not an aligned planet, that there is genocide occurring in nations all over this globe. The atrocities that transpire against women across the globe and children are incomprehensible to most Americans. Internment camps in other countries with millions of people, refugees, murder, savagery exists in this world at levels that most of us living the abundance that we live in this country can't even process. And it's at such horrific levels that we just want to turn away and pretend that it isn't occurring.
Mr. Former President, if I may, while I'm sympathetic to all that, I don't see how a wall stops or prevents any of that from happening.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. But here's my simple question. What do you view in light of, clearly, I view you, President Biden, whatever we discussed and said in these conversations, I've come to a place of understanding that you are not continuing singularly in the path that I'm describing. And I think that there's a time when the Democratic Party, and I was a Democrat at once, it stood for a level of belief and love of this country and it's all of its imperfections. And it stood for progress. It stood for the common person. And it's difficult for me to believe that unfettered, unchecked crossings into our nation are in service of that process. And I know we're out of time, but here's what I offer you. If we're able to have a 60-minute meeting where you can assure me, and I'll take you at your word, that we will have an open-minded discussion, I will, in good faith, apologize to you and the American people and keep completely confidential and sign documents to this effect that we're going to have this 60-minute confidential meeting about the wall. I have no political outcome. My political career is complete. I am not pleased with the state of either party. I care about the American people. I think it will serve the American people for me to apologize. I also think it will serve the American people if we could extend this conversation in an open-minded meeting. And my step forward in good faith would be to do something that nobody would ever expect me to do, to apologize to you and to others for some of my more aggressive, less presidential rhetoric. So President Biden, I offer that in service to the American people, and I'm not asking you to guarantee me anything, but 60 minutes where we can have an open exchange, and I understand your position. How does that sound?
Let's put it this way. If you can beat me in one round of golf without cheating, then we'll do it.
Well, President Biden, I can't promise to rehabilitate myself in all ways. I will play you and beat you, but I may cheat. So at a roll, that was an extraordinary job as President Biden. Thank you. How did that feel for you?
It felt good.
Yeah, did an awesome job, man. Alexis, how do we do in your scenario?
On what level? There wasn't much you could say other than lie, but I mean, it was okay.
Well, okay, so if I was going to make you Donald Trump, what would you have done?
Well, what would I? Well, I mean, there wasn't much you could have done. I mean, in all fairness, because I mean, the bottom line is the likelihood of him even speaking in that manner would be extremely difficult. That might spark a heart attack from him to be so self-defecating, I guess. About, but I do see the angle that you were taking where you were apologizing and saying that you wanted to take another approach and another way about going it, instead of going the full throttle that he normally would take on issues. I don't know if it would have been effective in this situation, from the sense that there may be a more fiscal approach instead of the continued scare tactic, although scare tactics do work. But I think the scare tactic maybe wasn't the best approach, maybe using an approach of why it made sense and not just attached to keeping them, to keeping people out. Because I mean, the wall in itself, as we know, isn't going to keep anybody out. They'll dig under the, that's already been shown. So it definitely was a hard one, but you needed a challenge.
All right, Bill of Rita, what do you got?
Yeah, I was thinking in that, I was like, how do we go from hello to yes to get Donald Trump to do some coaching with you? Because I do think like I think that should be a scenario. I think I might actually set that up for tomorrow. That could be fun. But I think even in that scenario, because Tony Robbins said there's no one that leads with more heart and more integrity than Sean Callaghy. And I think even in that scenario, if we were looking at it from the point of view of what would actually be effective in that scenario, it was definitely very effective. And if you have the opportunity to coach Donald Trump, he would probably get the outcomes that he would want in more of an integrous way.
No, I appreciate that. So Alexis, thank you for the scenario. Matthew, great job as well. And Alexis, how was your time with us on The Real Raw today?
It was good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, excellent job. Appreciate you. Berea, what's a big yes that you're seeking in the world? Like, what's a yes that would matter to you?
I think that's a very good question. I think it's really kind of impacted me, the recent, division that you see sometimes, and, the anger and the hate that you see going on. I think seeing this probably improve, even to a certain degree, because it just takes a whole lot of effort and time. It doesn't happen overnight. I think seeing this kind of improve to a certain degree would really make a whole lot of difference for me.
Well, I really appreciate you being here. I feel your heart, your desire for betterment for humanity, and appreciate you. And how was your time with us today?
I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for having me.
Great, thank you. Let's go, Nathan. What's a yes that would be meaningful to you in the world, sir?
That's a good question. I'm all about yeses. Geez. Yes for me. Really don't have any. I just always like to, get up every day and go for it and make the best of my day. We all have bad days. Nothing's 100%, but if I can always feel like if I learn something or take away something from the day, then that's always a good thing for me. I always try to move forward, always make a move.
Awesome. Well, appreciate your heart, your being here. And one of the things that I would always offer folks to think about is how we create exponential acceleration through yeses of leaders of ecosystems and create an expansion of our role and our identity. And so I often say, the assembly of an audience of our ideal avatars is one of the most difficult and challenging things to do. And it's done with intentionality, and it's done with integrity, and it's done with the adding of massive value, which creates massive opportunity for us to do more with people. So as you think about your yeses, think about your ideal groups of avatars, where they are, and how you can add value and cause leadership in that space. And I really appreciate you being here today, Nathan.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ami, thank you very much for being here. How was your time with us?
It was great. It was fun.
And what's a yes that would matter to you in the world?
Probably the yes that people take their health more seriously and do it for themselves versus.
I'm not sure.
My Siri wanted to say that too. Without me spending 30 minutes convincing them why it's important to do it, people take that for themselves.
Awesome. Well, appreciate you very much. Thank you for all the work you're doing in the world, and appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Matthew, how was your time today? Or should I say President Biden?
Thank you. This is fantastic. Fantastic.
All right. You did a great job, man. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah. And let's go Noble. How was your time today? Wonderful work. Really appreciate your energy, congruence. And how was your time with us today?
I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. This was a lot of fun, a great feedback. So I appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, thank you. Belgrade, final, my friend, on this Why Wednesday.
On this Why Wednesday, I would say first off is just thank you everyone for being here. It was a super fun show. The participants did amazing. And, this is how we have more of what we want with being able to go from hello to yes, because more time, more money, and more magic is on the other side of yes. And so Sean put a link, the team put a link in the chat for a gift from Sean. Because there is a formula from going from hello to yes. And yes, Tony Robbins said that there is no one that leads with more heart and more integrity. And, 6 months out of law school, Sean is starting his own law firm, built a 40-person law firm, had his first beach house before he even turned 30 years old, the one that he is sitting in right now. And it's all because of the formula. The 2 top 100 national jury verdicts is all because of the formula. So he has gifted that to you today. And to help you unpack what that formula is, how to apply it in your business, one of our team members is going to reach out to you. So you definitely want to take that call. Back to you, Sean.
Yeah. And listen, in a capitalist structure, people suffer. And people suffer because they don't have the money or they don't have the time. They never make it to business ownership versus operatorship, as the E-Myth of Michael Gerber or Tim Ferriss in the 4-Hour Workweek speak of, or they have the time and the money and they don't have the magic, the contribution, the impact, the making the world a greater place and solving some of these challenges we're talking about. There is a formula, whether we like it or not, that's controlling our money, our time, and our magic. But for most of us, past wisdom, all the things we've done limit our flexibility, our acceleration, our awareness that there's so much more that is achievable so much more easily than we would otherwise think. So Bella Rita and all of you, thank you for being here today. Such a beautiful job. Again, Nathan, Noble, Alexis, Maria, Ami, and Matthew. Appreciate all of you enormously. And Bella, the reason we don't see this stuff is because we're all blind.
And just learning to see. Bye-bye, everyone.
Great day.
Bye.
Bye.